8 huge Coronation Street spoilers for next week. Next week's Coronation Street will see Michael accuse Ed of starting the fire, while Tracy gives in to temptation with Tommy. Meanwhile, Bethany hides her money troubles from Daniel. Here's a look at 8 big moments hitting screens. 1. Ed is questioned by the police. As Ed prepares to be taken in for questioning following the builder's yard fire, he's horrified when Michael asks if he started the fire himself. Ed denies it, but it's clear that Michael isn't convinced. During his interview with D.S. Swain, Ed confesses to accidentally knocking over some white spirit, but insists that he didn't cause the fire. Later, Ed is devastated when Michael accuses him of the crime. 2. Michael realizes his mistake for use about Ed's recent actions. Michael reveals that he's spoken to James and told him everything about Ed's gambling debts and the fire. However, Michael is shocked to learn from Craig that the fire was started by a dodgy electrical heater, and Ed wasn't responsible. Michael is relieved by the news, but will he be able to make amends with Ed? 3. Tracy is tempted by Tommy. When Emma invites Steve to join her for the week in France, Steve is torn between spending time with her and making the most of his chance to hang out with his hero, Tommy Orpington. Having finally decided to visit Emma, Steve departs for France, just as Tommy arrives for work. Meanwhile, Kevin, Tim, and Kirk try to tempt Tommy into having drinks at the pub, but Tracy is having none of it. As Tracy and Tommy spend some more time alone, sparks fly. 4. Tommy confesses his feelings for Tracy. When Toya notes how attractive Tommy is, Mary decides to play matchmaker and tries to enlist Tracy's help to bring Toya and Tommy together. Jealous, Tracy stops Mary's plan in its tracks and makes out to Toya that Tommy is a womanizer, and she should stay well clear. Later, Tommy admits that he fancies Tracy and the pair share a kiss. 5. Bethany receives a knockback. Daniel finds Bethany hard at work on an article in the cafe, but she refuses to tell him what it's about. However, it turns out her hard work is all for nothing when Bethany's publisher tells her that they're not interested in her article. Later, Daniel reminds Bethany that it's her turn to buy tea, but Bethany makes out she's too busy working. Bethany checks her bank balance with concern, but hides the truth from everyone else. 6. Bethany looks for other options. Bethany organizes a meeting with Suki from the Gazette in a bid for more work, but Suki reveals they have no opportunities available. Suki advises Bethany try Chit Chat magazine as they may have a position. 7. Simon covers up his latest mistake. Suffering from another hangover, Simon realizes that he drunkenly spilt his beer over Nick's paperwork and disposes of the evidence. Later, Nick searches for his paperwork, and Simon makes out that he's not seen them and offers to reprint them for him. Nick is touched by Simon's kind gesture and convinces Leanne to have a word with Carla about Simon's job. 8. Leanne offers Simon a job. Leanne puts in a good word with Carla, pointing out that Simon needs direction now that Peter has left. Later, Simon reveals that Leanne's words have been ignored as Carla has given Bobby a job at the factory instead of him. Determined to do right by Simon, Leanne overrules Nick and gives Simon a job at the bistro. Simon's new position gets off to a rocky start when Bobby tries to tempt him to have a lock-in. Don't miss out on the gripping twists and turns. Subscribe now for the latest Coronation Street updates and exclusive spoilers. Hit that subscribe button to stay in the loop with all the street drama.